Okay, this is the Bayloric end of 2012 boxing review. Well, I didn't do one for 2011, but I think for 2012, having done the amount of videos I've done and having my subscribers rapidly grow over the year, I think it's only right that I do a boxing review. People ask the question, who do I think the best fighter was for the year, or fights I'd like to see in the future? Well, I can answer all those questions right here, right now. So we'll start with, I've got it all written down, what I'm sort of like going to talk about. So here we go. So the first thing would be the fight of the year. So for me, I think the fight of the year, well, there's a few of them. Depends what you consider a fight of the year. Are you looking for entertainment value? Are you thinking about hype? Are you thinking about punches thrown? I mean, internationally, I think Brandon Reese's fight with Michael Varda was a cracking fight. It was blow for blow, punch for punch, and Rios came out on top in that fight with a fantastic win. So Brandon Rios' fight would definitely have to be up there. Manny Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez 4 would be another. The thing is, I'm not going to call it a fight of the year for me because, to be fair, Manny was doing well in the fight. You know, I thought he was doing well, pretty well in the fight until he got knocked down, and then that famous knockout in the 6th round. So I'm not going to put that as my fight of the year. For me, the fight of the year for me, personally, and to do with Bayloric, I've got to say H. Chisora. That was the fight of the year for me because I was involved with it to the point where I was able to interview boxers. I never did get to David Haye. I got real close to him, but I got beaten by iFilm London. Thank you, iFilm. But I got beaten by iFilm London to get the interview with him, and you know, but just to be that close. Yeah, now next time I'll get an interview with David. If it took 2013, hopefully I'll get an interview with him. But yeah, the whole build up before the fight, the brawl in Munich, the fight was talked about all around the world. Everybody knew about it. The YouTube hits with Derek Chisora, and he glassed me, that famous statement that went around the world as well. And of course, David Hayes is the ultimate showman in Britain. So his trash talking went to all new levels with Derek Chisora, and Derek Chisora is no angel. He certainly can sell a fight too with his mouth. So the two of them were at it. I never thought that when this fight was announced. Well, I knew the fight was going to get announced because by that time I was talking to Don Charles and had met Derek previously. So, you know, to be a part of the camp, to be a part of seeing Derek prepare for the fight, seeing Derek being in the car with Don Charles and travelling to Blue Water to see Derek do his final preparations in Blue Water in front of all the fans, taking photographs for the fans, getting their iPhones out and taking photographs of Derek Chisora. It was great being a part of it, and then getting captured on the documentary, the Box Nation documentaries. That was great. So fight of the year for me in Britain had to be that. And obviously the fight itself was explosive with David Haye knocking out Chisora in the 5th round. So yeah, for me, I think that was fight of the year. Just for adrenaline, hype pumping in this country, in the UK, that was it. Fighter of the year, UK and the world. Well, I think for me, the two fighters in the world that stand out as fighter of the year, and I can't consider Adrian Broner, Floyd Mayweather or Andre Ward fighters of the year. They've only fought once a year, and sorry, you need to be more active than that. So the two fighters I have for fighter of the year is Adrian Broner and Nonito Donaire. They've been active. They fought in world class. Broner's moved up in weight. He's fought guys that the journalists have thought that would beat him. He's flashy, he's bravado, he's shown a great defense, fantastic offense, and Broner is definitely one to watch. Of course, Donaire as well has blown people away with his hand speed, his in and out movement, his power. Another exciting fight. So Donita Donaire and Adrian Broner. And if I have to go with one or the other, I have to go with Donaire. Because he had to fight Toshiyuki Nishioka Toshiyuki, whatever his name is. The guy, he fought. I'm gonna go with that guy, the guy that he fought. I think it's the guy from I think he's from Japan. He fought Rendell Monroe and defended his title against Rendell Monroe. But Donaire, I predicted Donaire would cause the knockout, and he did. Donaire really just did a number on him. So for me, I gave that fight to Donaire, and for me that makes him fight of the year. KO of the year, well, there's only one KO of the year, and it has to be one Manuel Marquez against Manny Pacquiao. The knockout was brutal, the finish was spectacular, and the thing is, what made the punching more spectacular, if you look on my videos, you'll see the real reason why Manuel Marquez knocked out Manny Pacquiao is because that right hand that he timed, he'd been doing it in sparring. So not only did it in sparring and knocked down an opponent in sparring, and that opponent got away quite lightly, you'll see in the video there, he did it under pressure against one of the pound for pound best fighters in the world and biggest punchers in the world. He did it under pressure and was able to pull off a magnificent knockout. So that's knockout of the year for me. Performance of the year, I'm going to go to Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia, because he came into the fight an underdog. Not in my eyes. If you go back again on the video prediction, you'll see that Bayloric predicted that Danny Garcia would defeat Amir Khan, and I said the left hook would be a key. And if you look at the fight, Danny Garcia was definitely behind on the points. Amir Khan was throwing lots of blurring hand speed, out pointing, out moving, out boxing Garcia, until Garcia landed the body shots to bring the hands down from Khan, and then unleashed that left hook, that famous left hook. And even when Khan was down, credit to Khan, he came back in the next round, the 4th round, and still tried to stand in there and fight with Garcia. But at the end of the day, Garcia proved to be too strong, and I guess that potentially could be a rematch in 2013. So performance of the year, Danny Garcia. Upset of the year, well, it depends where you stand on this one. Seth Mitchell against Jonathan Banks. A lot of people were tipping Banks to do a number on, not to do a number, to get knocked out by Seth Mitchell. And in the first round it looked like it was going according to plan, and then in the second round he went out and got careless and got caught by Jonathan Banks. So that was you know, interesting. Young boxer of the year, there's a few of them out there, but one of the guys, I'm going to put a few fighters there. I can't say a young boxer, but young boxers. Young Bryant Jennings, up and coming heavyweight. He's fighting good competition. He's got a good string of wins. He's been fighting guys who punch back, guys that you recognise. He's not been fighting the who's he of boxing, but he's fought guys that you can recognise on paper. He's fought some good guys, and I look forward to seeing him doing some things in 2013. Keith Thurman, another explosive puncher. Look forward to seeing him in 2013. Big things from him. Gary Russell Jr., big things from him as well. He hasn't fought anybody of real big note yet, but he's got the skills, I think, to pay the bills. And in 2013 we're going to hear a lot more about him. A young man that's not mentioned much is Joel Diaz Jr. Check him out. Had a fight against, I believe, a gentleman called Gary Cobb. Or Cobb, look it out on the internet. He's 19 years old, Diaz Jr. Unbeaten, was in 7 fights. Gentleman he fought against was unbeaten in 6 fights. He was no mug. It was the battle of the unbeatens, and guy was significantly a little older, stronger, and you'll see a toe-to-toe battle there. Diaz looks one for the future, and I'm definitely impressed with him. The British side of things, people say, well, we've not talked about British fighters. Well, Scott Quigg's win against Rendon Monroe, I predicted, and I thought he would do well with that. So really excited about that. Kell Brook, his fight against Carson Jones was coming of age for him. Some would say he got exposed at that level. I would say that Kell Brook showed lots of heart and lots of guts, and hung in there against Carson Jones. We know he's got grit, and he can hold through a tough period in the fight and come through. That's going to help him a lot when he goes against Devon Alexander in 2013. So we took Carl Frampton. His performance against Steve Molitor was very impressive. Although Molitor was faded going into the fight, I thought that Molitor would give Frampton problems. Frampton proved he was a class above and did the business. So kudos to Carl Frampton. Another fighter I've got to mention, Tyson Fury. He's really stepped up this year. Lost a lot of weight. Credit to Peter Fury, if you remember Tyson in that fight against Pychik, where Tyson Fury didn't look in great shape. Technically looked vulnerable. Got dropped in that fight, and Tyson did pull it out of the bag. But since he's switched with Peter Fury, shout out to Peter Fury, doing an excellent job with Tyson Fury. Tyson's looked slimmer. He's looked like a world-class athlete now, and he's performing like one with wins. I know he's beaten Martin Rogan, went southpaw to do it as well, so he's shown versatility. Then he stepped up and fought Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson, he did well against Kevin Johnson, boxed the ears off Kevin Johnson, did what he had to do. You can only beat the guys that put in front of you, and Tyson Fury's done that. On the other hand, you can't not mention the man from Liverpool, David Price, who I have been made to look a fool of again. It's one of my blunders of the year. I've got it completely wrong. His fight against Audley Harrison, I thought Audley Harrison would have put up a bit more of a show. Audley got caught cold, and that was that. So got that one wrong. Got a few wrong this year, a few blunders, but that was one of the bigger blunders. Got it wrong, so that would be up there with foot and mouth disease would have been that one, and probably Kell Brook against Salavida. Prediction of the year, I think my prediction of the year I got right would have been Timothy Bradley against Manny Pacquiao. I believe that Timothy Bradley would have won the fight, well, controversially, and he did. Shocking decision of the year goes, for me, without a doubt, to our friend Thomas Adamek versus Steve Cunningham. Absolutely shocking. I thought Cunningham won the fight. Don't know what they were looking at. A draw, no chance. But even if it was a draw, it was still a bad decision. But the fact that he went on to being a win for Adamek is shocking. Absolutely shocking. Yeah, I think that was one of the worst decisions of the year. And also Trevor's Cloud against Campello. No way did Trevor's Cloud win the fight. So that's another shocking decision. Fighters in the UK again to look forward to seeing. Cali FIA looks an interesting prospect for 2013. Who else can I mention? Billy Joe Saunders came through a tough fight against Nick Blackwell. I would say Nick Blackwell's a prospect, definitely. He's done well there. So shout out to Nick Blackwell. And Billy Joe Saunders came for a tough fight. Tougher than a lot of people expected. Tougher than I thought it would go. So yeah, but Billy Joe Saunders did outbox Nick Blackwell. But lot to work on in the gym. But good fight for him. Frankie Gavin came through against Junior Witter. Junior Witter balls the life out of me. Made Gavin look bad for the first few rounds, but Gavin got it under control and won the fight. Really want to see Gavin step up in 2013. He really does need to be challenged. Ricky Burns. That was a prediction I got right. I got slated for thinking Burns could knock out Mitchell, but you know, I couldn't see how Mitchell win the fight. I've always believed that Mitchell was a bully, and anytime that somebody of any note stands up to him, he crumbles. He crumbled against Katsidis, and he's crumbled again against Burns. I really don't think he's a world level operator. And if he fought Gavin Rees, I think the same thing would happen. I think Gavin Rees would beat Mitchell too. Let's think who else. Prospects. Let me think. Fights I'd like to see made in 2013. Wow. Not bothered. I don't care too much for Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather, because for me, Pacquiao struggles against counter punchers. You've seen it with Juan Manuel Marquez, and Mayweather is the best counter puncher in the world, bar none. And he has a straight right hand, just as Marquez has got. And again, I think Mayweather's got the best straight right hand in the business. And he's not going to stand there. Well, he might do now. But another fight doesn't interest me. Mayweather all day for me. Fights I'd like to see in 2013. You know what? David Haye against anybody. Because David Haye, just love his press conferences. He's just a character, his press conferences, and just a personality. And while I'm on the point, boxing personality of the year, I have to add, has to go to David Haye. My God, David Haye. From last year and Toge and the whole Vladimir Klitschko, where you thought, you know what, if this guy ever boxes again, it's gonna be amazing. After all the hype and all the bad mouth and even the video games he made about Vladimir Klitschko and he's a robot on this and stuff, jab and grab. And then David did put on a performance which was disappointing to many fans around the world. And David came back against Derek Chisora. Okay, it's not a Klitschko, and a lot of people think that David should fight somebody else before he fights a Klitschko. Yeah, I guess so, but you know that man can sell a fight. That man can sell a fight. Listen, David Haye is the best salesman. I mean, in terms of selling something to you. I mean, Mayweather's a different level, you know, and he's a different conversation altogether. But when you talk about David Haye, if a car wasn't starting, right? If a car didn't start and he didn't have an engine in it, David Haye could tell you that car was the best car in the world. He'd sell it to you, and you'd believe him. You'd believe him. And he's a better salesman than Audley. Audley is a salesman that's been exposed. David Haye is a great salesman, and you know that guy, you know, he's amazing. And the thing about David as well is straight after the Chisora fight, you know, he now goes into the jungle. A lot of people can say what they like about David Haye, but he goes into the jungle, right? What a man! Goes into the jungle and really performs really well in jungle. Doesn't make a fool of himself. You know, handles the challenges like a don. Anybody who hasn't seen it, I suggest you go and see David Haye in the jungle. It's showing boxing. Boxing needs personalities, and David Haye is certainly a personality. And you know, in Britain we do need to take in our personalities more. So he's done really well for that, and he's come out of the jungle. What's he gone and done now? He's gone and done a boxing tone and workout video. What a way to end the year. What a man. David Haye, boxing personality of the year. David, if you can yet to see this video, great stuff. Interviews of the year, I've got to go to iFilm London. iFilm London, you continue to do interesting interviews. Of course, the best interviews for me is when Kugan Cassius, who's I think it's ATG, he's doing voted for Reporter of the Year. Shout out to Kugan Cassius. Keep on doing the stuff, man. I know you get a lot of flack. A lot of people say, including Adam Booth, say that you ask very simple questions, but your interviews with Eddie Hearn, Frank Maloney and Frank Warren were excellent for British boxing, for us to get to know more about promoters and managers. I think you're doing a great job. Keep it up. Your back and forth with Adam Booth is amazing. Yeah, just keep it up. Great stuff with iFilm London. So I thought I'd just add that as well. I'm sort of like all over the place at the moment. While I'm on the haymaker camp, got to mention George Groves. A good win against Glenn Johnson. My only concern with it was a good performance. Showed he could go 12 rounds. My God, he threw a lot of punches in that fight. A lot of punches against a guy, Glenn Johnson. What is his chin made of? Took all those shots. Great performance by George Groves. Still concerned that he's still taking shots. You're boxing, you're going to take shots, and he's taking them. But I'm just concerned when he's in with a real big banger, whether his defensive lapses of concentration are going to let him down at world level. That's my only concern. But he's got that one punch power there that could get him out of trouble. So definitely George Groves, one to watch for 2013. Exciting times for him. And while I'm talking about defensive frailties, we'll go on to James DeGale, who's had some good wins this year as European champion. Still concerned about him boxing on against the ropes, and he's off the ropes less and less, which is good. But he's now I believe he vacated the European Championship, and I think he now is taking it back. But he's definitely a man who's going to try and go for world honours in 2013. So sort of looking forward to that. So sorry, you have to forgive me if I'm going back and forth and all over the place. But the more I'm talking, the more things are coming to my mind. And this review, Carl Froch. Beaten by Andre Ward for the Super 6 final, gutting, and then for him to step in the ring against Bute, whom a lot of people were expecting to beat Carl Froch and expecting Carl Froch. And if you think about it, the backlog of that performance, I've got to put that again up there with performance of the year. Carl Froch's a stunning, devastating knockout of Lucien Bute. I do also have to add, not taking anything away from Carl Froch, but Bute was hurt badly, and some people say knocked out by who's the guy he fought? Andrade. So people say that Andrade probably was the first guy to do the damage against Lucien Bute, but officially Carl Froch did the business. So in 2013 we're looking forward to Froch fighting against Kessler and against Andre Ward. Fights of note, Ward against Dawson. I really would like Dawson to have taken that fight in the light heavyweight division. Would have been more interesting, because now we would have had Ward fighting against the light heavyweights. Instead, we've got Ward still sticking around in the super middleweight division against someone like Kelly Pavlik. Do we really want to see Ward against Pavlik? No, we don't. Ward should be up in the light heavyweight division, fighting like Trevor's Cloud and Jean Pascal, and the fight against Dawson would be more interesting. Nathan Cleverly, his fight over in America was good. The Americans got to see him again, and yeah, Nathan's gotten out to fight Krasniki in 2013. We look forward to seeing Nathan fighting somebody of note. I'm sure he's frustrated. I'm sure Frank Warren's frustrated. But 2013, we hope that Nathan Cleverly is involved in a fight of some note. Deontay Wilder, got to mention him. The Browns bomber continues to bomb out. Sorry. Opponents really want to see him fight somebody of note. The Americans are looking for a heavyweight of caliber and note, and we hope in 2013 he steps up and fights somebody of note. And when he does, it'd be great to see him knocking out a name. Can't not mention Canelo. Why have I not mentioned Canelo? Why are you not talking about Canelo? I'll tell you why I'm not talking about Canelo. Because Canelo is fighting a whole lot of guys that are smaller than him, older than him. I mean, he fought Sugar Shane Osley, who's they're talking about him fighting Paulie Malignaggi 2013. But Canelo fought toe to toe with Osley, and for me, Canelo needs to fight somebody of note. I'm sick and tired of people telling me Canelo's great. In fact, I'm sick and tired of people telling me this and that guy's great and this guy's great. But yet they fought nobody who's punched them and fought them back, right? I thought boxing was and the best fight was against guys who got in the ring and fought live opponents who have got credibility, who can slip a shot, take a shot, and throw a shot back. You know, and it seems that all you have to do is build a record of 25-0, knock a whole load of guys out that you've never heard of, right? And that suddenly makes them a beast. You know, you could call Danair a beast because Danair's knocking guys out that you know, that you've seen. You can go on YouTube and see, well, yeah, his last fight was against so and so and so, and he's a former world champion, and they've held a belt, and they have been unbeaten, and they've had world championships, right? You can't do that with some of these other guys that are knocking guys out with, you know. So I don't know. Shout out to Australian heavyweight Mark Demore. Mark Demore is promoted by Don King. Awesome body puncher. Small for a heavyweight, but exciting. Got exciting style. Check him out. Interesting. Let me think what else. Yeah, fights for 2013. Adrian Broner, Ricky Burns. Going to be a good fight. I sway for Broner in this one. Nathan Cleverly, Trevor's Cloud, Carl Froch, Mikkel Kessler 2, Carl Froch, Nathan Cleverly, Tony Bellew, Chad Dawson. Let me think. Canelo against a world-ranked opponent. Lucas Matisse against Danny Garcia. Let's find out who the #1 guy is. Amir Khan against any guy who can punch. Because, you know, when you're watching Khan against a big puncher, you know it and I know it, you know, it's exciting. Because you know of Khan's frailties around the chin. We all look forward to seeing Khan in big fights. He's exciting, he puts bums on seats, he fights with his heart. And, you know, we just want to see him get it back on again. Against somebody who can punch and not a lightweight. So it should be interesting. Who else? Floyd Mayweather against Guerrero. Question: Can Eddie Guerrero pull off that same smothering style against Floyd Mayweather? I think Floyd Mayweather throws wicked uppercuts inside. I think he's a good inside fighter. I think this Guerrero fight could be the toughest fight of Floyd Mayweather's career. Simply because Floyd's now, what, 35, 36 now? He ain't the same fighter. And, you know. Another fight I've got to have a shout out to is, no doubt, Trout. I said I predicted Trout would win against Cotto because I felt Cotto didn't fancy it anymore. I don't want to see Miguel Cotto fight against me. I really don't want to see Miguel Cotto fight again. Miguel Cotto needs to retire. He has got a wonderful family, a beautiful wife. As I was saying, I think that Cotto definitely needs to retire. His heart doesn't seem in the game anymore. He's got a beautiful wife and kids. As I was saying earlier, sorry the video cut out. He's got a beautiful wife and kids, and I think that he should retire. And also, I mentioned earlier on the video, I mentioned Eddie Guerrero. That's the bloody wrestler. It's Robert Guerrero that I'm talking about, Mayweather. Well, thank you for your support. Thank you for your for subscribing. Thank you for the comments. You know, I'm gonna continue to get things messed up in 2013. Probably less, I hope, and no more gaffes. I hope I get more videos right. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of good fun. Shout out to everybody on Twitter. Shout to Andre, Silvana Ambrosio. Who else? Fiji Boy, Future Jab, Wing Chun Student. Keep doing the up stuff, Wingy. Doing great stuff there. Hatman TV, Leave It in the Ring. Box Pred. Who else? European Boxing News, Boxing Historian, who else? The Wire, man, you're a legend. Keep going, Dwyer. T Street Controversy. So hopefully in 2013, I hope to interview some of these guys. Hopefully they'll come out of the woodwork. Errol Jarrett as well. Hopefully these guys will come out of the woodwork in 2013. We can do some hookups and do some interviews and see these guys on camera being interviewed a bit more about boxing, what got them into boxing. And before I finish, there's a big juicy interview that I've got with former Audley Harrison opponent Ali Adams. I'll do that in a separate video. But yeah, an exclusive to Bayloric TV. But enough about that. This is the review for 2012. I hope you liked it. If I've missed you out or I haven't mentioned you, I'm sorry. There's so many fighters still to talk about. I'm sure after I finish this recording, there'll be a whole more load of fighters to talk about as well. So this is the Boxing Hangout. I'm out. No, it's not. It's Bayloric TV. Ha! Got you. Bayloric TV. I'm out.